Well, first it was the virus, now it's the violence. I want to say some things about the violence that we're seeing now in most American cities that did not arise in a vacuum, this violence. And it was not caused by the death of George Floyd, may he rest in peace. The hysteria over racism in the air right now is a red herring to distract you from what's really going on. And what's really going on is a war between those who want to repair the DNA damage done to America's foundations and her institutions, and those who want to take a wrecking ball to all of it. Parents, what did you think was going to happen if you sent Junior into the intellectual chaos known as the modern American university? It's a bad idea factory. Junior is going to learn Marxism from day one and all its various subgroups and all its pomps, like atheism and materialism and feminism. He will learn to hate America. He will learn to think of the institution of marriage as oppressive. He will be brainwashed to think that sexual liberation is a form of freedom instead of a form of control. He will worship relativism, not realizing that relativism is self-refuting. In fighting the man, he's very likely to lose his faith in the God-man, Jesus Christ. In short, Junior will drink the Kool-Aid of all the enthusiasms of the 60s that have been repackaged and rebranded. Let's face it, the left has done a brilliant job at language branding. They're really good at it. Language is the part, the narrative is the whole. He who controls the one controls the other. Back in the 1960s, the Black Panther movement didn't really get off the ground, didn't really get traction with the broader population. But by rebranding the radical agenda as Black Lives Matter, it's brilliant because if you object to even one drop of their goals, you're instantly accused of not caring about Black lives. It's right up there with pro-choice, as slogans go. What are you saying you're against choice? One of the ironies of so-called higher education in this country is that the undying devotion to critical thinking does not translate to thinking critically about the very agenda sold to you by Professor Deconstructionism. And what happens is you have whole armies of young people who are burdened by hundreds of thousands of dollars of usurious student loan debt, and they can tell you all about queer theory, they can cite studies to do with gender and neocolonialism, they know Marx and Engels, but unless you want your post-graduation job to involve saying things like, would you like special sauce with that, you're not going anywhere. Which means you have a lot of time on your hands, which means you become an easy mark for radicalization. Terrorist groups like Antifa and BLM exploit all of this. And suddenly, kids from good families even feel like they have a mission in life. They're going to fight oppression. They're going to denounce fascism, blah, blah, blah. And aiding and abetting the leftist professors and college administrators who have shaped Junior for 4 years or more are the lamescream media who constantly throw jet fuel on the slightest whiff of conflict. I'll give you an example. Check out the Drudge Report. Now, about a year ago, Matt Drudge flipped and became a never-Trumper. And since then, he's also a nonstop hype salesman. Every single headline in the Drudge Report is designed for maximal fear and despair. If it's not COVID-19 sick maps, it's street violence. If it's not street violence, it's sex robots or UFO invasion stories. Drudge has lost it. And so has CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, and every major newspaper that's still standing. They've all been licking their revolutionary-loving chops for this kind of conflagration. They've been waiting for it, so they can gin it up and turn it into something like a civil war in the making. More fear, more fear, more fear. Fear is a much more powerful weapon against faith than doubt ever is. Doubt can purge away nonsense and get to the truth. But a fearful populace is one easy to control. Fear is the opposite of faith. And the only cure is the perfect love of God, which casts out all fear. I'm working on a book on the isms that have screwed up the world and the church. And an ism is an idea virus. It's like mental malware that infiltrates and infects the mind. And it doesn't only destroy logical thinking, it destroys your moral compass. Christians need to remember that Jesus came to take away our sins, not our minds. Our minds were made to see the truth, to understand it, and to live in its light. We're made to think things through. It's easy to emote. It's harder to think. And the truth isn't a a book or a program or a thing even. It's a person, the Logos incarnate. And the street violence that was loosed upon him on Good Friday and his rising from the dead on Easter Sunday is the truth that sets us free. I'm Patrick Coffin. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, check out Coffin Nation, go to coffinnation.com, see what people in 25 countries and growing are enjoying every single day in this time of crisis. In the meantime, be a saint. What else is there?